Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Carol, in case you've never met. Very nice to meet you. Today's video is going to be a follow-up of the first impression that I did last month of the products that I bought off of Cult Beauty. I bought the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, Hollywood Flawless Filter for Superstar Youth Glow. I also bought a few things from Rituel de Fille. I bought the eye set in Cultist. I bought the Rare Light Cream Luminizer in Ice Bow. And I also bought the cream pigment, the Inner Glow cream pigment in the shade Arrows, which is this. And by the way, I have a video on my Instagram with this all over my face, cheeks, but basically like all over my cheeks, eyes, and lips for a monochromatic look. So if you'd like to see how I created a monochromatic look with arrows all over my face, then definitely check out my Instagram, which is linked underneath. Thank you so much, and let's get started. The verdict is it's a kind of video that I used to do a long time ago, and I used to kind of grade the products and give them an average. And I haven't done that as of late, at least like when I did the Cosmetics one, and when I did, what else did I do? We did Cosmetics, and now we did Nabla as well. Okay, so for Cosmetics and Nabla, I didn't give them a grade, but from here on out, they're going to be graded. It's serious here. It's serious. I am a serious person in a serious world, because we are living in a serious world, and I am a serious girl. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Clearly, you can tell that we're talking about makeup. When has makeup ever been serious? Unless we're talking about like beauty companies being disgusting in terms of behavior and stuff like that. Anyways, but that's not the topic of today's video. What am I saying? Let's get started and talk about the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a superstar, not just a youthful person, a superstar youth glow. Okay, let's basically say what it is. It is a product that has a bit of a mysterious way of marketing, because some people think it's a foundation, others think it's a primer, others think it's a highlighter, which is where I stand. I think it's a highlighter. So you can basically be the makeup creator, the makeup artist, while you're using it, and figure out how you prefer to use it yourself. I have tried using it all over my face and as a foundation, and I thought it was horrible because it basically settled all over my fine lines. Like when I frown, you see those lines? That basically gave me like two distinct lines where my expression lines are, basically also around my mouth. It was horrible, and it looked like I was sweaty. And I am not a sweaty person, and I don't particularly love the sweaty look. If you like a sweaty look, no judgment anyway, but if you do, then apply this all over your face, and I'm sure that you'll enjoy looking sweaty and also wrinkly, so it depends on your preference. Some people like to look wrinkly. I don't make any judgments. As a primer or a foundation, I didn't really like it, because when I apply it all over my face, I do feel like it creases. Now, when I apply it as a highlighter on my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, and other places like Cupid's bow and a little bit on my chin, it is beautiful. It is glorious, and I like it like that. I think that there are between 7 to 9 shades that vary according to skin tones, because this essentially is a non-sparkly, non-shimmery, somehow magically glowy skin tone kind of product. So if you get it in your own skin tone, it might look more like a foundation, like a super duper glowy foundation. I got it in the lightest shade because I knew that I wanted to use it as a highlighter. This was my intention. I wanted it as a highlighter, and I got it in a lighter shade because this was my thought process. It's not on my face today because I was filming a video that I should have already uploaded. And if it is already uploaded, then you will probably find it somewhere. around me at some point of the video. Anyway, so now let's talk about the points. I have color range, which I've already talked about, at 7 out of 10. And the reason why I said that is because 8, even 10 shades isn't really enough if it's a skin tone kind of product. But, and this is why it's not at 3. This is very sheer. This is intended to be not very pigmented, because if it was pigmented, then it would be more of a foundation and not necessarily this product that you can use however you feel like. Since it's not very pigmented, you can probably get away with using a product that doesn't really match your skin perfectly, especially if you intend to use it as a highlighter, especially for that reason. So 7 out of 10 is not really bad, but it's there. It's not that good either. Like, it's somewhere in between. Application. It has a dofa applicator here that allows you to hit the points that you really want to hit, basically the targeted areas. It's super duper easy to apply. The applicator is really soft. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's kind of like a concealer shaped dofa right here. It's slightly angled, and it's not too saturated, but it's not too unsaturated. There's enough product on the wand to, at least for me, for the way that I like to use it, to be enough and sufficient for my entire face. If you would like to see me use this, I'm pretty sure that I used it in my first impression, so you can check it out at some point throughout the video. Longevity. It is extremely long lasting. Like, I don't see it fading or doing anything like that throughout the day. Like, it doesn't fade, disappear. My skin doesn't drink it up. You can still see that there's a glow even after so many hours have passed. The only problem with longevity is that if you apply it on areas where you have some texture, you have some lines, or like lines form as you express yourself, then it's going to settle there. So just be wary of that. I gave it 9 because as long as I'm not applying it right here, it's perfectly fine. It's absolutely fine. And it lasts for a very, 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 very long time. The only reason I didn't give it a 10 is because of the settling in the middle of my forehead. It's not very flattering. Pigmentation is 6. And I think that's a good thing. I don't want it to be too pigmented because I don't like highlighters to look like a stark line of a color. I like it to look more natural. I like it to be see-through enough for me to see my skin beaming through it. So for that reason, although 6 is not a high number, but you have to be wary of what the product is supposed to be for you. So although this can be used as a foundation, and if that's the case, then it doesn't really give enough coverage, but if you use it the way that I use it, then you'd appreciate the lack of coverage. Finally, packaging. Okay, listen. So this is one of those categories or criteria that I don't really think matters that much, but it doesn't hurt to look pretty. It really doesn't hurt to look pretty. And I gave it a 9 because I love the packaging. And I love that it's glass and it's heavy, but the cap kind of feels a little bit cheap. And I worry that if I one day decide to carry it like that and shake it, that the cap that is glued on this white thing, you can see it here, will come off and the bottle will fly somewhere and shatter. That's the only concern that I have. So I didn't calculate its average. Let's do this together. Okay. Calculator. 6 plus 9 plus 10 plus 7 plus 9 is 41. So I'm guessing like 8.2. 8.2. 8.2. 8.2. What am I? A genius. I'm kidding. It's easy math. This is easy math. We haven't gotten to anything complicated. 8.2. Okay, so now that I've discussed this, let's just sum up whether or not I recommend it. I recommend this to people who are not looking for a glowy foundation. If you are looking for a glowy foundation and you have long days, then you better not frown or smile at all. You better have like tons of Botox all over your face so that you can't make any expressions, because once you start making expressions, this won't wear very elegantly. However, if you want it as a highlighter, I really, really love it. But then again, this thing costs $44. It's very expensive. I mean, I was gonna say it's kind of expensive. No. It is expensive. It is expensive. But you are going to get 1 fluid ounce, which is exactly as much as you would get in most foundations. So I do feel like you are getting your money's worth. By the way, the reason why I don't apply it right here is because even if I setting it is counterintuitive, because by setting it you're dulling down the glow. So no, I just don't like it in that area. Okay, let's carry on with the reviews. We're starting with Rituel de Fille at last. I'm going to start off with the eye soot. This is called the Rituel de Fille. I should have brought my glasses. Ash and Ember eye soot, and I have the shade Cultist. Cultist is basically a taupe with gold sparkly sparkles. I'll swatch it for you. Look at it. It's really beautiful. By the way that they look online, they seem to all be shimmery. So every eye soot that you could possibly consider is going to have this gorgeous glow. Whether or not you like it is up to you. I like it, and that is that for the finish. So let's talk about what this product is. This is an eyeshadow that I believe is made of a blend of oils and pigment. Rituel de Fille, I think, as far as I know, is a clean, it's definitely cruelty-free, but I don't know if it's clean. I think that it is, and a lot of the products I believe are probably vegan. Now, whether it is vegan or not, I'm going to leave it right here, just to confirm. Is it vegan? Is it not? Read between the lines. Anyway, so this is an eyeshadow, essentially. It's a glamorous way of saying eyeshadow, apparently. And it comes in this type of packaging. I want to start off by talking about the packaging because I have issues. I don't mind the aesthetic. I think that the Rituel de Fille aesthetic is gorgeous. It's like this grungy, gothy, dark, almost like emo-y type of vibe, and I'm here for it. I like that vibe. Don't judge today's makeup look. If you've never been here, then this makeup is not a representation of who I am, because I stepped out of my comfort zone for this. This is more up my vibe. This is more up my alley. Anyways, so let's talk about this packaging. Beautiful, really beautiful. I like the shape. I like the fact that it's plastic. I don't feel like I'm worried about it breaking or anything. But, and this is a big but, okay? This is a product that is meant to be applied with your fingers, and I'll tell you why. But this little hole right here is so tiny that if you have any sort of nails, you won't be able to dig your finger in it. And if you have chubbier fingers than the average person, which is normal, by the way, fingers are not an indication of your health. Fingers are not an indication of your eating anything. It's the way that it is actually. So if you have big fingers, then it's going to be difficult. Like if I want to insert my thumb, which is like my biggest finger, it's impossible. It's really difficult for me to do that. So I don't bother. I usually either use my ring finger or my pinky for those for this product. And I'm fine with that, but just be wary. Like if you have nails, just don't get these. Don't get these if you have nails. If you would rather have nails than eye sots, don't bother with these. And I'm fine. I mean, I understand. I used to have nails for a while. Now you could pay me $1 million and I won't go get them, but it's a topic for a different video. These things are pricey again. Everything in this video is really pricey. Everything since December up until now, every makeup item that I bought has been pricey because I've been missing feeling a little bit of luxury in my life. Yeah. Anyways, so packaging, I gave it 6 because although this is absolutely stunning and gorgeous and I love it, I love looking at it, it's not very functional. It's not functional at all. What am I saying? It's not functional. This is a problematic packaging for most people to use because not everyone likes to use fingers. I don't like to use fingers, but I make exceptions when the product is beautiful. And some people have nails. Some people have nails. And I feel like the person that Rituel de Fille have in mind is a little bit less glamorous and more grungy. Not that grungy isn't glamorous, but it's a different kind of glamour, I would imagine. Okay, so 6 out of 10 for packaging. Color range, I think that they have very unique colors. If you are looking for like this classic brown, it's just like a flat brown or something like that, you won't find it. But if you're looking for uniqueness, you will find it there. I think they have over 10 ones of these, and all of the colors look really unique and really special. I feel like even if you have 5 of these, they would all look different. They would all look different. So although they don't have like 25 different eye sots, I do feel like the color range is great, and I gave it 8 out of 10 because all of them are shimmery, and sometimes some people don't like shimmer. Although the shimmer in here is very sophisticated. I mean, as you can see, this sheen and this glow is not tacky. It doesn't look like you have like Dollar Tree shimmery eyeshadow on your eyes. It looks very sophisticated. It looks very gorgeous. It looks very classy, and it's this je ne sais quoi factor that all of the eye sots, according to the swatches and the reviews that I've seen, seem to have. It's beautiful. Application. I gave it 8, and I feel like I was being generous by giving it an 8. So let me say that I'm gonna give them a 6. I'm gonna give them a 6, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to be honest. I have tried several brushes with this darn thing, and they don't work. Now, I'm going to rephrase what I mean by they don't work. If you want a sheer topper type of shine, type of sheen, where your eye looks almost glossy, but it doesn't have a distinct color, use a brush. But if you want color, pigment, you have to use your fingers. When you use your fingers, it's not going to blend by itself. You're going to need to use a brush afterwards. At least in my experience. Maybe my fingers aren't the best at blending, but I usually reach for a brush after I apply the color, and then I blend it in. And I feel like it's easy to blend and everything, but it's too much of a hassle to apply. And the question is, Or basically what you need to consider is it worth it for you? For me it is. Just saying, just a disclaimer, just a little bit of a sneak peek into my final verdict. I think that it is worth it for this product. But if you're not a fingers person, if you have nails, then just don't. Longevity is 9. It lasted beautifully for the entire day without any smudging or creasing. But I do question its longevity as a eye topper when you use a brush straightforward instead of using a brush first. I do question the longevity of this glowy effect when it's that shade. Pigmentation is 7 because, as I've already said, when you're using your finger, 10 out of 10. When you're using your brush, 4. So I'd give it a 4 with a brush and a 10 with your fingers. So the average would be 7. Overall, the average for the iSoot is 7.6 out of 10, which sounds awful. However, let me tell you that this probably is my second favorite product in this video. It is. I love it. I wish I was a millionaire so that I could have at least 5 more of these. But I am not a millionaire, and I'm not going to have any more of these anytime soon, unfortunately. But I do love these. I love them. I would highly recommend, if you haven't bought Glam, the Glam palette from Natasha Denona, and you want something cool toned, but you feel like palettes can sometimes confuse you. You don't reach for all of the shades. There are shades that you're not going to reach for. And you saw this swatch and you thought that this was pretty and you would wear it. Get this instead. Get this instead. And I don't know if you're going to be necessarily missing out on the Glam palette because I don't own it. I'm probably going to get it next month because I need to stop buying cheap products. And I need to distract myself with eyeshadows for a while. But if that's the case, then I recommend Cultist specifically. But look at the shades. They are gorgeous. There are some shades that I have never seen anything like in my entire makeup life. Like, I have seen so many makeup products in the market, like online or in person. Nothing like the Rituel Fille eyesets. Nothing like them. And I'm saying that very genuinely. I think that this is super unique. Super unique. And if I could, I would have a lot more of these. Okay, let's move on to the next product, which is the Inner Glow Cream Pigment in the shade Arrows. Arrows is basically like a teriyaki colored cream that looks like this. And then, this is how it looks when you first apply it. And as you can see, when you blend it in, this is the final result. I have, as I said, a video on my Instagram of which I used this as a lipstick, eyeshadow and blush all over my face with nothing else aside from this, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. But let's talk about what this is. Essentially, this is a cream pigment that you can use however which way you want. And this is how the pictures, the promo pictures in the Rituel Fille website is. They have it smudged all over the lips, smudged all over the eyes, smudged on the cheeks, smudged everywhere. Like, it's supposed to be this editorial type of product. And this is why I fell in love with the concept. Not only because of the video, but also because, I mean, there should be a drinking game for every time I mention Hannah Louise Poston in my videos, because I talk about her all the time. But this is a product heavily influenced by her. In fact, I would have never bought it had it not been for Hannah, and I would have been missing out on a gem in my collection. Anyways, so as I said, you can use it however which way you want, but for the most part, it's mostly used as a blush. That's what most people use it for. I love it all over my face as a monochromatic look. I think that this could be, actually, I have a video in mind that I might film, but it's a video for a different day. don't start guessing. Just don't bother. So let's break down the reasons why I seem to be so obsessed with this. Pigmentation, I give it 9. I think that it has a beautiful pigmentation, and although it can look scary when you first apply it, it blends effortlessly. It blends and looks gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. If you watch my Instagram IGTV, you would see that there is like a moment where it looks terrifying, but the way that it blends is perfect. Longevity, I give it 8 out of 10, not because it doesn't last long as a blush, but on the lips it fades quickly and it kind of creases a little bit on the eyes, but I feel like it's kind of part of the grungy look. It kind of works with the type of product that it is. So if you absolutely hate smudgy or creasy eyeshadows, just don't have this on your eyes, don't. But if you don't mind it, a little bit like minor creasing is to be expected with this on the eyes. On the lips, you're gonna need to reapply. But I feel like this is the perfect product to keep in your purse, just so if you're ever in a rush, take this with you, on your eyes, on your lips, mascara, brows, done. It's so easy, so easy. Longevity, as I said, is 8. Application is 8. And I'll tell you why. I use 2 brushes to apply this both on my eyes and on my face. On my eyes, I use this concealer brush from Il Maquillage. I'll leave the number on the like here. Read between the lines. This is how it looks. It's kind of like a round buffing brush, a small round buffing brush, and a dome-shaped one. And this is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush that I use for my cheeks, like as a blush. When I apply it on my cheeks and I have a base underneath, it does pick up a little bit of foundation underneath. It does. When I apply it on my eyes, there's no problem. When I apply it on my lips, there's no problem. But when it's applied over top of foundation, it does pick up a little bit of that foundation, so be wary of that. When I apply it over top of bare skin, absolutely beautiful. So for that reason, application is a little bit tricky because of the fact that it does pick up a little bit of the base. Now, color range, I give it 9 because I do feel like they have all of the conventional colors that you would expect to see in a blush range, but they also have out of the box kind of colors like arrows. There's one that looks very gray that I'm like side-eyeing and asking myself whether I want it or not, but I shouldn't because these are $29. So I don't think I'm gonna get it, but it's really beautiful. So color range, I gave it 9. Packaging, I'm giving it a 9 for one reason only, not a 10. I do think that it's beautiful. It has a mirror, it's tiny, sleek, compact, pocket friendly, purse friendly, like no matter what size your purse is. You can have those tiny little Jacquemus one, and like this would probably fit in the smallest one, I bet. So the reason why I give it a 9 is because all of their compact products like this have the same packaging regardless to what it is. So this is the Rare Light Cream Luminizer. This is the cream pigment. They look the same. Unless you are looking at the back and reading this tiny little writing or opening it to see what it is. So that's why I gave it a 9. Overall, this product got 8.6 out of 10, and personally speaking, Holy Grail. Holy Grail. I know that Hannah doesn't agree with the phrase, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to say Holy Grail for this because this is the highlight of, what month was it? February. This is the highlight of February. Like, discovering this was my favorite thing. Using it was the highlight of my February. I am enamored by arrows, and I completely understand what Hannah Louise says, and I would even add to it by saying that it looks beautiful on the lips and on your eyes. It's gorgeous. Finally, for what I tried in February, I tried Icepo, which is the cream luminizer, the Rare Light cream luminizer. Icepo is more iridescent purple. I don't know if you can see. I hope that you can. It has this purple tint to it that makes it a little less user-friendly for me. Can you see it? It's very, very, very like translucent. It's like a translucent product, and I'm going to show you the effect that it gives. Can you see? Okay, you can see it. You can see it, but it's not crazy vavavoom type of thing, right? It's not. Let's try to build it up a little bit. Oh, by the way, in terms of texture, the texture of both of these feels like wax that's easy to melt, like wax that's easy to warm up with your fingers and use immediately. It's kind of like butter. Okay, so I did build it up slightly. I really hope that you can definitely see it more now. This is an interesting product for sure, because this is one of those products that I expected a little bit more of in terms of impact. This, I would say, if you are someone who is fine with a purple toned, slightly, not that heavily, with a slight bit of purple in their highlight, or if your skin tone looks good with a purple toned highlighter, then absolutely go for this. Because if you like a delicate, sophisticated highlighter that you can't really pinpoint any like sparkly bits or any shimmer particles, it doesn't look like, here is the shimmer particle, here is the shimmer particle. It looks like an overall glow. If that's what you're after, then absolutely, this definitely delivers in that spectrum, and I really, really like it for that reason. Now, let's break it down. Pigmentation, I give it 5 because it's really not that, the impact is not very significant, but it's there. If you want a highlighter like this, don't get it. If you want something more soft, more subdued, more sophisticated, maybe if you have like texture or something like on your cheeks, then maybe this would be a better option for you. I don't know. I can't tell you what to do, but I'll tell you that it's softer than, it's probably one of the softest highlighters that I've ever tried. Now, longevity, I give it 8 because it's long lasting, but it doesn't have a lot to it. That there's not much that it could lose. It's very soft, very, very soft. Application is 7. I don't love applying it with a brush because, again, with that texture, I do feel like it picks up some of my foundation and a little bit of my concealer when I try to approach like this area. And with my fingers, I just don't like how it blends on my fingers. I would rather use a brush for that, but I can't. Color range, there are so many colors, considering that this is a cream highlighter. Most cream highlighters don't come in as many colors as this one does, especially because unlike the Charlotte Tilbury one is skin toned. Here, because it's Rituel de Fille, there are color shifts and color stories and unique stuff. Like there's orange highlighters and very gold, very red. It's very unique. It's really, really unique, and you have to know exactly what you're going to get. Look at swatches, look at people applying them before you buy anything, before you buy them. Packaging, I gave it 9 because although this is beautiful, again, same story, I can never tell what this is unless I open it or I decide to read this tiny little handwriting, or like this tiny little font. I was gonna say handwriting, obviously it's not. So overall this got 7.6, Arrows got 8.6, and the iSoot I think ends up having 7.4. 7.2 for the ISOT. But let's do the ranking now, okay? Let's do the ranking. Clearly you can tell by the ranking that Arrows is my favorite, and it is. Arrows is my number favorite. My number one favorite product that I tried in the month of February is the color, the Inner Glow Cream Pigment in the shade Arrows. Hannah Louise Poston knows what she's talking about. I just have to add that this makes a gorgeous monochromatic look. My second favorite, although this has the lowest ranking, or the lowest rating actually, is ISOT. I love it despite of all of its flaws. And I love it because of all of its flaws as well, aside from the packaging. I love that they're all shimmery. I love that this is a type of product that is that you can use with your fingers. It almost feels like you're getting to know the anatomy of your face all over again, because with brushes, it's not as intimate as when you're touching your face yourself. There's something special about applying makeup with your fingers, and I'm learning that. I feel like I'm learning that all over again, because I was all about brushes, and lately I've had to use fingers for my makeup application, and it's growing on me. Not with everything, but with the ISOT, I love it. Third favorite is my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. Superstar Glow, maybe. I really like it. I really do like it, but I don't know if I'm going to repurchase it when I run out. I probably would, because I'm really enjoying it, but I think I would want to try out other things that are similar to this, like the Auric stuff, the Samantha March stuff. I would be very curious. And my least favorite product, and probably something that I don't necessarily recommend to many people, is the highlighter. Out of everything, I do see myself decluttering this eventually. I don't really think that this is going to be a product that will have a long life in my collection. Yeah, this is everything for the verdict is for the month of February/March, because that's when the video is going to be. That's when I'm filming this video on March 13th, so halfway through March. It's a bit late for the verdict is, but my assignments have been getting like bigger and bigger by the minute. If you're following me on Instagram, sometimes I share my illustrations. I love the Illustrator program situation thing. I used to think that it was like too much work for very little impact, but I'm starting to like it. It's warming up on me. I love it. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me some thumbs up, because it brightens my day. And don't forget to leave me a comment telling me what you thought of the video, what do you think that you are curious about in terms of products, and tell me how you are doing today. I would love to know. How are you? And I hope that you're doing well. And I guess that's it for today's video. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.